was advised by the suppliers, the people who sell the drugs and whatever to us, and I would consult which is the best food that we can feed the chicks, at least to reach the maturity. Then from there, because they're expensive, we move to another one. And they would advise me just to go for unga. Unga is very good with the growers, the chicks, and some crumbs. Then once they reach the layering, you can shift to either another feed. And that is what I used to do. But still, when you bring up the chicks, they grow very well, they start layering. When you migrate to the other, the peak level takes a lot of time, or you don't even reach. Sometimes I would try to see the percentage. I see the maximum I would go was 70%, which to me was still a loss. And that is why I decided, now let me try. And also, sorry, let me go back a bit. When I lost a lot of chicks, it's because of that mistake. I moved, the chicks grew very well, but when they reached the layering stage, I shifted to the cheaper one. Yes, I also lost a lot of them. But now when I decided, let me put a trial, I start from the chicks to the egg layering to the peak. That is the time the 5,000 birds gave me orders. Because I gave Uga product from the word go, I moved to even from the layering stage to the peak, to the time I sold the birds, they were still healthy. But that one, after discussing with a lot of my few friends who are also putting it to me, just stick to Unga. And because I used the cages, even by the time they were old, they were still strong. I didn't have a problem with the weakness in the legs. That is how I decided, now let me go full plus on Unga. Yeah, so I think I would say I don't have a lot of headache now. I'm almost settling because I have been able now to upgrade. I'm able now to have a lot of birds. Currently I have around 9,000. Yeah. I would advise if one can try Uga and keep it and maintain that and then do evaluation. Because me, it has not disappointed me. However, when there is flood for eggs in the country, I also move a bit I'm a bit proactive. I move around with my eggs and sell them. I don't just wait for people to come and pick. I move to sell them so that I maintain. Sometimes you may not get a very good marginal profit, but not long lasting. It could become for 2 months, but then it peaks again. But you find your birds are healthy, you have little diseases. It is actually, would say, it gives you a little stress when you use the product. I've used it now, and I don't intend to move to any other.
Now, let's invite Dr. Joseph Jenga, an animal nutrition expert from Unga Farm Care, East Africa. Dr. Jenga shares with us the most common mistakes that farmers make in poultry farming.
In our usual visit, we look at the 3 factors that are very important to any poultry farmer, especially a rear farmer. We look at the bird itself, we look at the environment, and we also look at the management. So those are the 3 areas where farmers make mistake. One, the wrong housing, building the house the wrong way, because we have those, what we say, the east-west orientation. The other thing is about the ventilation of the house. Some people leave no space for ventilation. The other thing is errors they make while getting the day-old chicks. So if you don't get day-old chick from reputable supplier, you're also going to have a challenge. The other and the most crucial, because it covers almost 70%, is the feeding errors. Most of the farmers underfeed their animals, or whatever they give to the animal is not sufficient. So those are some of the mistakes. Others are poor record keeping, so you are not sure what is happening at the farm. When we encountered with this farm, it was after complaint of mortalities in the chicks, poor laying percentage. So we came to the rescue because we go around the area scouting for farms. So when we came, the production was not okay and mortality was very high. So we were able to come through, supply the feed and monitor. Now, most of the time what we monitor is the growth rate, which we actually measure the bird. We weigh the bird weekly to see the growth rate, and also we check the percentage of raying, which we say it should be above 90. So from the time we encountered her till now, there is a lot of improvement, because also the farm has expanded. It was only these 2,000, now we are hitting around 10,000 birds, and now at the Unga. Growth rate has been okay, egg laying percentage has been okay, and we are waiting to see for how long will they lay. Because with Unga products, there is longevity in the numbers, the days this bird will continue to lay. So we want it to be as prolonged, and the peak period to be a bit also prolonged.
Unga Farm Care is the leading manufacturer of high-quality animal feeds in East Africa. Daktari informs us that the various feeds and feeding regimes for layers from chicks to the ones that are laying, and what makes these feeds so popular with chicken farmers.
In layers range, we start with chick mash. Chick mash is the feed that is fed from day 1 up to 8 weeks. It is in form of mash. And the features that we have in our feeds, it's a complete meal and has all the required nutrients for the growth. Remember, the target for this chick wanted to gain weight, also to build the bony frame. So chick mash will help in growth. We also put coccidiostat, so your chicks will not come down with coccidiosis. First few days after arrival, we encourage, that is when you are brooding, we use the trays, chick trays, or if you don't have chick trays, you can use the old newspapers or the gunias. You just spread them on the floor where you have on the litter. Then you make sure there is 70% coverage of feed. The feed is spread to cover 70%, such that the chick will be able to feed. So you'll feed from day 1 to week 8. From there we go to growers mash, where you will feed from week 8, starting from week 9. Then you will feed all the way till they start to lay, and mostly it's between 18 weeks to 20 weeks. If you do it well, you can get even the first egg a bit earlier. If there was a challenge, you can go up to 22 weeks. But for Unga, advantage of using our growers is that the point of lay will come earlier. Then the frame and the weight will be okay, the frame of the body, because for these birds to lay, they must have reached 1.5 kilos. During those weeks, the bird will have consumed at least 7 kilos. This will give you a good weight. The point of lay will be a bit earlier. There are some who even get it at 16 weeks. From there, we go to the layers complete meal, and we change from growers to layers once you correct 20% of eggs from your flock. So if you have 100 birds, you'll have to correct 20 eggs so that you can change from growers to layers. And for this one, we encourage a daily ration of 140 grams per bird per day. When you are coming from chick to grower, you mix a third of the new feed with 2/3 of the old feed. So you'll take 2/3 of chick mash and 1/3 of growers for the first time. Then for the second day, you'll put half, that is half of the new feed and half of the feed you are leaving. And the third day, you'll put a third of the old feed, the one that you are now leaving, to the new one that you are moving into, so that there will be that smooth transition. But always ensure that the feed in the trough is completely finished before you can replenish. Make sure even the powder that is left there, because that is the minerals, vitamins, and proteins, it's completely finished before you add.
Dreams keep us going. Cecilia's vision is great. She has brought her children on board. They are now starting a bigger farm in Ukambani. The future looks promising for Sewako Farm.
Because I've realized farming is self-fulfilling. It can manage you and your children because it has done that. And I intend to start another farm elsewhere because this is almost full now, and I'm developing another farm in Ukambani. I have a 2.5 acres there, and I've started developing the farm to take care just for poultry farming.
She advises those who want to venture into poultry farming to start small and grow big and never give up.
Start with whatever little you can be able to get. Get proper advice. Don't start the wrong way like I did. Get proper advice from the specialist. Get proper advice from the food suppliers, because that's where we go wrong. And I want to tell anybody that the poultry farming is good. Particularly, I cannot regret. Even when the losses came, it was a learning time, and now I have experience. Actually, I look at it and see that this is a better employer, and I'm able to do what I want. I'm able to buy what I want with in poultry farming. Even whatever chicken that now I'm bringing, it is the same finances I'm getting from the sales that I'm able to manage the other lot. So I don't go for leave the money from anywhere else. Whatever I sell is what I use to bring more. And I would say it is self-fulfilling. Even the employees I have, I pay them with the money that is coming from the eggs, and the sauce is allowed. And we are okay. We can't complain.
That's all we had on poultry farming today. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2021. And until next time, keep it KTN Farmers TV.